unless you want to talk. And with this many people, it should be pretty easy to interrupt, or you can use the raise hand feature down at the bottom. So right now we'll go ahead and mute everybody. But again, feel free to jump in if you have questions. Um, so we're going to be talking just briefly about the what's going on as far as updates with the team and the mitigation plan and the schedules and all that. But the main purpose of this meeting was just informational and answering questions. So a lot of our kids are going to be over at the paddy pool for the first time. They haven't trained over at the paddy pool. So we thought this would be a good time to have this meeting. So thank you to those that are on here. Let's get started. I'm going to share my screen with the, all right. So here's the agenda for today. Welcome. We will get towards the end, the election results, and we'll go from there. The reports, so our COVID-19 mitigation plan and updates there. We were at HAMI, as everybody knows, we were at HAMI not last week, but the week before, and the kids got pretty good at knowing the routine and setting themselves up in the lanes, and we set them up in the lanes, and they're doing a pretty good job there. One thing that we want to remind everybody as people, we become a little bit more comfortable with this routine and these restrictions. We want to remind everybody about the social distance requirement. It's in our mitigation plan. It's now going to be heavily enforced by UAF. So we need to stay 6 feet apart from everybody as much as possible, from anyone outside of your family group. And when we're exercising, we need to try to stay 10 feet apart. The only exception is when we're actively swimming. Obviously, we're not going to be 10 feet apart there, but even in between intervals or in between sets, and we'll set things up like that at the pool, just like we did at HAMI. We just really have to try to be aware of the social distance requirement. HAMI pool and that staff, they reminded us of the social distance requirement, but paddy pool and UAF is going to be extra stringent. They're being very cautious, and they know that there's risk involved with anybody being on campus, especially a non-university group like us. So if they see that we're not following the guidelines and the restrictions, they won't hesitate to take the pool away. So just a reminder to keep following the social distance requirements. And that's not just when we're in the pool facility, but also outside the building, maybe even more so outside the building when we show up to practice and when we leave practice. That's when UAF staff can see us and the general public can see us. And if they see people that our group, our team, that's not social distancing, they might run that up the chain, and it gets back to the pool manager, and he'll have his hands tied. So reminder, social distancing. As far as our mitigation plan goes, it's pretty much the same. I'll pull that up here. It's pretty much the same as it was over at HAMI. It's just our team. We're going to keep our social distance, 10 feet when we're in the water. Coaches will be wearing face masks when the swimmers are not in the water. So same thing that we had at HAMI. We won't have to take the pre-activity screening like we did at HAMI. That was a borough guideline. And now that we're not swimming in a borough pool, we don't have to take that. We will be taking attendance every day, and that will be used as contact tracing if needed. But a reminder, just because you're not taking the pre-activity screening, if you don't feel good, please stay home. So, if you're having any of the symptoms, common symptoms of COVID, or if you just don't feel good, we want you to stay home. That's more important than training that day. As far as hygiene goes, there's hand sanitizer at the pool. There's also chlorine, and the CDC has said that chlorine kills the virus. So the kids are basically splashing around in disinfectant the whole time. So hygiene, as far as sports go, swimming is probably one of the most safe places to be right now. We won't use equipment though, especially shared equipment. Even though a lot of our swimmers, especially older swimmers, have their own equipment, that was a big red flag with the facility, with UAF, when we were working with them on the mitigation plan, is equipment. Even if the equipment's on the deck, you know, if kids have to go to the end of the lane to get their equipment, and then they're all close together in close proximity, or just touching other people's stuff. So no equipment. We do recommend that each swimmer brings their own full water bottle. The water fountain is closed. They don't want people using the water fountain on deck. If a kid's water bottle runs empty, a coach can fill it up for them, but please bring a full water bottle to practice. As far as staffing goes, you know, we've been trained on these mitigation plans. It's basically the same as it was at Hammy. The big difference here is cleaning and disinfecting. At Hammy, the lifeguards were in charge of that. And at Paddy Pool, since we're self-sufficient at the Paddy Pool, the staff, the coaches will be doing that. So staff will clean commonly touched areas, commonly touched surfaces once an hour, which typically is in between practice groups. There is a single toilet restroom that will be available. It's right outside the ADA little waiting room there at the end of the pool. But the staff will have to clean that after each use. So it's available. If anybody needs it, they should feel free to use it. But we will try to keep bathroom use to a minimum. Additional information, athletes aren't required, but they are encouraged to wear face masks when they're not in the water. And travelers from outside of Alaska need to follow the Alaska mandate, you know, whatever it is at that time. Right now it's testing within 3 days before you arrive to Alaska, and some other restrictions. So that can be found on the state mandate list, but just make sure we're all following those. So that's the mitigation plan. And the instructions are pretty much the same. They're very similar to the mitigation plan. We will have an entry door and an exit door. Right now, I think the entry door will be through the ADA little waiting room there, and then the exit door will be the door leading right outside to the ramp. And we'll have signs, and we'll have coaches directing. We are required by the facility to shower off before we get in the pool, but the locker rooms are closed right now. They're regrouting the showers in the locker rooms, so that's the main reason why we can't use locker rooms right now. When they're done grouting the showers, they may let us use the showers only, but not keep our stuff in there. They just don't want a bunch of kids and swimmers or adults or anybody in the locker room where it's really easy to conjugate and it's hard to keep your distance, right? So they're weighing social distancing with showering off before you get in the pool. So for right now, there is a shower, single shower on deck, and they want to make sure that everybody showers off before they get in to help with the water quality and the air quality. So we'll do that. It was the same requirement at Hammy. During practice, if the swimmers just follow coach's directions, we're going to set things up pretty similar to the way they were at Hammy, and just avoid contacting each other or touching each other. Keep your distance. After practice, we'll get all the swimmers that are in the pool area. We'll get them out first, and then we'll bring in the next group. So that group that's waiting to get in, they'll just wait outside on the ramp or up by the grass, wherever, as long as they're keeping their distance from each other, and wait until all of the kids that are leaving get out of the pool and out of the facility, and then we'll bring them in. So coaches will be there to help direct, just letting them know there. That's the transition time. It could take a couple minutes. we appreciate our parents and swimmers have been very patient and accommodating and flexible with us. You know, we're going through this for the first time, and there's always a learning curve, but I think we've got it down, or we did at Hammy, and it should be very similar at Patty. So thank you for your patience. And additional information, I think we covered most of this. Oh, there are not towels at the Patty Pool. I know the Alaska Club provides towels. There's none of that at the Patty Pool. So bring your own towel, just like you were doing at Hammy. Okay, I think that is it as far as this mitigation plan and mitigation and planning update goes. Um, the schedule, the pool schedule, we tried to keep the schedule as similar to the school year schedule as possible. Things are shifted up a little bit just because of timing and having to get all the groups through. This is on the website. I should have shown that. So when you're on the website here, this COVID-19/news tab, that's where this information's at. And swimming news during COVID, that'll get you to this page here. So go back. Training schedule, start tomorrow. The seniors will start in the morning. That'll be good to have the older kids kind of do a little trial run, see how everything goes. Hopefully it goes smoothly. And then we get our other groups coming in the afternoon. And then juniors and seniors are back in the afternoon at the end. So this will all start tomorrow, Tuesday, except for masters. So the masters won't start until the following week. But this will be good too, and all the coaches will be there to help organize. And once we get rolling at the Patty Pool, I think it'll go pretty smooth, just like we had at Hammy. So that's on the website. We've sent it out a couple times, but if anybody needs that, and you can't find it on the website, let me know. Let one of the coaches know, and we'll get it to you. And if there's any questions while we go through this, I know we don't have a huge number of people on the call. I am recording it, so anybody can watch the recording later. But if you have any questions, chime in. Heidi and or Hillary, feel free to chime in. Or if you see anything pop up on the chat box, let me know, because as I'm sharing my screen, I can't see the chat box. All right, next in line here is swim meet information. So there's a lot of unknowns going on right now, as everyone knows. USA Swimming had a ban on competition all through May and all through June, so no teams in the country could hold any competitions. They have lifted that restriction starting July 1st, but any swim meet that you have and any times achieved at that meet can only be used up to it's called a local swim committee, LSC. In our state, or in our case, it's the state. It can only go up through the state level. So if we swam at a meet in July and a swimmer made a JO's cut, then it counts. If they made an age group cut, then it counts. If they made a sectional cut, that wouldn't count. If they made a senior zones cut, that wouldn't count. So Alaska Swimming is debating whether to hold a long course meet in Anchorage at the last full weekend of July. Normally that's summer champs. Let me get to our events page. Normally that is summer champs, and so they're working on that. The technical planning committee and the Alaska Swimming Board is debating whether they want to still hold a meet that same weekend, or if they want to try to push it until August, when times possibly could count for the bigger meets. So that's all pending as far as that. That would be really our only meet this summer. They're also having to work through a lot of logistics with Anchorage, with the city, the municipality of Anchorage, on their restrictions and how many people could they have in the building and all that. So there's a lot they're working through, and they had to wait until USA Swimming lifted that ban, which they just did last week. So more info to come on that. If Alaska Swimming is able to hold a long course meet this summer, it would be July 24th through 26th, the same time as we had the summer champs. It wouldn't be summer champ meet. It would be an invite where anybody could go. There's no cuts to go. Not sure if it would be prelim final. There's a lot of logistics to work out there. So it would either be that weekend or they would push it into August when times could potentially count for bigger meets. As far as our local meets go, the Northern Area coaches, so Northern Area Aquatics is what Stingrays is in. That's like our conference. So that's Stingrays, Midnight Sun, North Pole, Nome, Galena, and Delta. And the Northern Area coaches have met and talked about schedules. So I think we're pretty much ready to go on a schedule. We're just waiting for the city of Fairbanks and for the borough to give us a little bit more information on if we can have meets and when we can have meets. So we're kind of in a holding pattern there. Typically, our first meet is not until September. So we do have a little bit of time to figure it out, but that's the update. Just letting you know, the process has started, but it's not finalized and it's still in the logistical phase. We do know that our summer meet, our summer travel meet, will be a continuation of what we were going to do this summer. It'll just be in 2021. So USA Swimming moved Olympic trials because the Olympic Games got moved to 2021. And that was one of our main reasons of going to Nebraska for our summer trip, was to go watch trials. So we pushed our plans and our trip to 2021, assuming trials happens as planned in 2021, we'll have our summer trip ready to go. So we do have some hotels already blocked out. If anybody knows that they want to go on this trip, we do have hotel rooms in Omaha blocked out. We don't have rooms in Lincoln yet. Those are a lot easier to come by. The Omaha hotels book fast when trials is there. And also that same week is the College World Series for baseball. So we booked out some rooms. If you have questions on that, let me know. Last thing here on my list is fundraising and volunteer hours. We normally do our swimathon fundraiser, which is a very important fundraiser for the team. Normally do that in the spring. We had to postpone, possibly cancel that fundraiser because of facilities and, managing health risks and all those sorts of things and restrictions. We don't have a plan logistic-wise on holding the swimathon right now. If we can put something together in the next month or so, we might do that. The board will have to meet and discuss with that. Otherwise, we'll just miss out on our swimathon this year, which will financially take a toll for the team, but I think everyone's health and safety is more important. And just real quick, throwing this out while we're talking about financials of the team, really appreciate everyone's help during all this. We had 6 weeks or so where we weren't in the water, and we had almost all of our families still paying dues, and that has set us up so that we're ready to be off and running right now. And financially, the team has stayed afloat, and we really appreciate all the help from our parents. We even had a family give the team a sizable donation to help us through this tough time. I know businesses all over the country are going through tough times, and we really appreciate our members and our families helping us out. So we're doing fine. The team's doing fine. But if we can pull off the swimathon fundraiser, I think we will. If it's not going to work logistically, then then we'll miss out on this year. As far as volunteer hours go, we are not enforcing the volunteer hours this season. You know, a lot of our events and meets where parents got volunteer hours got canceled. Our big spring meets, Northern Area Champs, some of those other meets. So we didn't feel like it was right um, to uphold the volunteer hour requirement. So there's no volunteer hour requirement this year. Thank you to those that have volunteered and that did meet your quota. But if you haven't, don't worry. Okay, that's all I got on my list. So we're going to open up to anybody that has questions. I'll stop sharing my screen so that I can see everybody. Anybody have any questions? This is a great time for questions and answers, whether it be schedule or COVID related or swim meets or just something completely else. Okay, not seeing any right now. Heidi and or Hillary, do you guys have anything to add? Anything I forgot? Hillary gives a thumbs up.
Nope, sounds good. Thanks, Josh.
Okay. And let's see, Carl and or Joanna, as board members, anything from the board that I missed?
I can't think of anything.
Okay. And I guess last, Logan, I know you're on there. You're sharing the computer with your mom. Logan, as our senior athlete rep, anything to add from the athlete's perspective?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, we knew this was going to go pretty easy. All right, then. I think, let me check the agenda real quick. Question and answers. Board of Director election results was the last thing we had on there. So thank you to those that did the election ballot. I think it went pretty smooth. We're having this meeting in lieu of the in-person spring meeting that we normally have.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
I hate to interrupt. I apologize for jumping in. I'm kind of a Luddite here with the tech stuff and just found out how to pull this back up on my screen and wanted to know if you saw that letter I sent from the mayor about Fairbanks COVID-19 grants that they had. I didn't know if it would be appropriate if we can't do swim-a-thon, if we call that a loss, or is it just not a gain? I mean, I didn't know how they define loss, if we could apply for a grant for that fundraising from the COVID funds that the mayor was talking about.
Yeah, that's a good question, and we can look into that. I did get your email, and yeah, at the time we thought we couldn't apply because you have to show that your business had a substantial loss, and that could count. Swim-a-thon could count, potentially as a loss. We'd have to look into it. I do know that our PPP loan from the government has restrictions on what other grants and aid that you can get. So we'll have to look in on that and make sure that we're, crossing all the T's and dotting the I's. But yeah, good point.
Okay, good. Nope, that's good to keep it all, look at the big picture, yeah. All right, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, that's all right. That's all right. That's what this meeting's for. Yeah, this meeting, we normally do the elections during our spring meeting. So that's why we did the election ballot online. I think that went pretty smooth. Thank you to those that voted. And it was pretty straightforward because there was only one candidate for each position except member at large, which our board has 3 members at large. So congratulations to Jared Welsh, who will be the vice president. Catherine Persinger will be the treasurer, And then our members at large will be Joanna Fox, Diane Bashirs, and Carrie Walsh. So congratulations to them. They will take office September 1st. So our current board stays through September 1st to match our fiscal year. And we will have a fall general membership meeting for everybody, and we will recognize our outgoing board members who have put in a lot of work and a lot of time. So again, congratulations to those members, the new board members that will take office September 1st. And last thing I want to do is congratulate our seniors. It's been a strange year for our high school graduating seniors. They missed out on some of their big meets and missed out on having a traditional style graduation. But they've done a really nice job staying positive, and all 4 of our senior girls that graduated will be swimming in college next season. So that's pretty cool. Patty Eppinger will be going to Cal State East Bay. Victoria Shackle will be going to Concordia in Irvine. Shannon McCallum will be going to UAF, and Madison Harinko will be going to Cal Baptist. So the 3 girls that aren't Shannon staying in town, and then the other 3 are going to be going to California. So exciting time for those 4 girls, and wish them the best of luck. All right. That's all I got. If anybody has anything else, speak up now. Otherwise, that's it. Okay. Not hearing anything. Thank you again. Appreciate it. And if you have any questions as we get rolling with this new schedule, let one of the coaches know. We're here to help. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, Josh.